I used to be such a social autist that I could not say no to anybody. I could not refuse bullshit requests from people. I mean, I would often accept something without even having a chance to say no and then be like, oh my god, why did I agree to this? It is just the worst thing ever. And I know exactly how that feels, because especially if you're someone that's introverted, socially autistic, like all I'm saying is someone that has a hard time communicating, and the hardest of them all is saying no to people, whether it's at work, to your friends, to your girlfriend, to your family. And I'm going to actually break it down as easily as possible, because this used to be me all the time. And today I say no to everybody, or I will say no as soon as something is inconvenient for me. Something I don't want to do, I will just say no. No fucks given. Absolutely none. And so I'll start off by sharing a quick story, actually, because when I was working at this coffee place, I'll tell you what. There was a customer that came in, and if you guys worked fast food, you know how this goes. There are usually some kind of deals, some kind of combos, discounts people can get, and usually it requires people to get a certain amount of items together. Right? Hey, if you get this and that, you're going to get a discount, whatever. And so I know this has happened to a lot of us, and we just got stuck in this situation like, this is so awkward, because a customer would ask for something different and still ask for that discount. So in my scenario, it was, you can get like a coffee and a croissant for free if you purchase this thing enough times. Like, you have these points that you collect, whatever. And she was like, tea and a croissant. And I was like, tea in the coffee shop was more expensive than coffee, than the basic level of coffee, and therefore the discount did not cover it. It wasn't free. And so I could see on her face as I was entering the things, and she could see it on the screen in front of her, she was like, her face was changing already. She was like, okay, why is this guy charging me? He's probably new. He doesn't know something. And that's someone who just assumes that they're right. You know those customers who assume that you can just do that, and you're like, no, Karen, the system doesn't work like this. I don't make the rules, right? And you just don't know how to convey that. And so as soon as I'm like, yeah, so it's going to be $159, and she's like, no, it's free. So then I paused. I'm like, I do my quick nod. I'm thinking, it's just that tea is more expensive than coffee, so it's not the same thing. I start explaining. She's like, I come here all the time. I get this all the time, and the other staff always make it free for me. Like, she's just running it. And I just stood there and I was like, okay, well, if you were to do this correctly in the system, the tea doesn't come out for free. It just doesn't. And I wish I could help you. I wish, show me the person who figured out how to do this. Maybe they're here. Maybe they're on the shift right now with me, and they can show me how to punch this in correctly, because otherwise, I'm going to be making the mistake. Why should I make mistakes? I can't just give it to you for free. I have to enter it into the system. Everything's accounted for, the inventory, right? And oftentimes we just don't have the vocabulary to just explain all that, and you just get into this weird standoff where they're like, no, I'm not paying for that, and you go back and forth. But in this case, it was very simple. I was just like, well, there's just nothing else I could do. Like, this is it. And I did not apologize. I'm not going to say I'm sorry. Why? I didn't make the price. I didn't come up with the system. I didn't come up with the discount. I just work here. So why should I be sorry? I'm not sorry. So do not be apologetic. When you're going to tell somebody no, it's no. I'm not apologizing for putting my boundary forward. I'm not going to scam the system for you. I'm not doing that. And I'm not going to let you have the thing for free, whatever. Of course, if there's a mistake and I need to exchange your thing, whatever, that's a whole different story. But I'm saying in a specific scenario where you need to tell somebody no, don't feel remorseful, especially if it's coming from you. I know what it's like. You feel bad about saying no. And this is the first thing I will actually explain. Saying no to someone often feels harsh. You don't want them to think of you as an asshole. And this is especially true with people who are known for guilt tripping you. So maybe your parents want you to babysit. Maybe they want you to do a chore. And you're like, well, no, I have these plans. Or you just don't know how to say it. And you're like, well, I kind of was going to go hang out with my friend now. They're waiting for me. And they're just like, oh, okay, so you're just going to leave me here to do it all by myself. Okay, yeah, go. You know, whatever, classic guilt tripping, right? Classic, or it's called gaslighting these days, I think. Yeah, it's gaslighting. The point is, it feels bad to you when you say no. And you don't actually have to make it so harsh. The easiest thing you can do is just change your tonality. And what I would start with is, instead of going from what you're thinking in your head, no, make it in a more understanding tone. Make a longer pause. Do a hum or a understanding statement and proceed with fitting your no into there. Now it sounds like you're empathetic or sympathetic. You're sympathizing with them, that it's going to inconvenience them a little bit because you're refusing. See what I'm saying? And to give an example, let's say your parents ask you to babysit your little sister, and it's funny I'm using this example because it used to be me, but this is how you would handle it. Like, hey, you know, we're going out, we got some things to do, you're staying home with your sister, babysit. Just pause a bit, let it sink in. Don't fill the silence right away. They said that, pause. That slight pause lets them know that you're not fully okay with what they just said. Immediately being defensive or saying something opens that room for discussion. You don't really want discussion. You just want a plain no. You want to simply refuse. And so you pause for a few seconds. Look away. Make it look like you're thinking, because you are thinking. You're thinking how to explain it to them. That's how I would say. This is how I would say it. Yeah. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think I can do that. Not today, unfortunately. And that's it. I'm not gonna explain myself. And this is part of a different strategy of why I wouldn't explain myself. Don't immediately say that you need to hang out with your friends or you've made plans and you're going elsewhere. I would take a deep breath, I would pause, and then I would say, hey, I can't do that. You know, I'll shrug my shoulders a bit, I'll show some body language, I'll nod my head from side to side. Something that conveys more than just a no. You're conveying emotion. You're not just, because I know how us introverts think. We're gonna be in our head like, oh my god, no is gonna sound so harsh, because you don't know how to convey that emotional side of it. You're just gonna be like, no, I don't want to. Wow, you're such an asshole. Wow, how could you be such an ungrateful son? Classic, right? But if you convey your emotion this way, suddenly you're projecting that emotional intelligence. The other person that you're declining feels understood a little bit more. They might still not be happy, but now you just don't have to feel like the asshole. Now, don't get me wrong. I have no problem with feeling like the asshole or being the asshole. Sometimes when you say no, you just have to be that guy. But that's a little bit higher level. It's a little bit more when you're more experienced and you're okay with taking on that social pressure and that stigma, whatever that comes with it. But initially, just making it like a soft blow or just making it emotional, showing how you're taking a deep breath. Don't make it fake. Actually show them your inconvenience. And you might think, okay, well, they're not just going to agree to that. They're going to guilt trip me now. Well, that's fine. Let them. They'll do their thing. And that's when you start telling them more. You'll be like, yeah, no, I see. That completely makes sense. I wish I could do something. you should have told me this earlier before I actually made plans with my friends. We are actually gonna go there. We've been meaning to go to this one place for the past 4 weeks. We finally got together with everyone, and I am gonna be attending. So that's that, right? You just said no to someone in basically the softest way possible because you understood them. This is the same way you deal with angry customers or with customers that have a problem. If you're working a job, and most of the times you're going to be in a role where you're talking to people. People are everywhere, right? Customers, clients, whatever you want to call them, coworkers. This is a huge one. Being taken advantage of at work. People, your boss asking you to do stupid shit, or someone asking for you to take their shift. All these kinds of things. How do you say no? You know what's interesting? When I used to work at Subway, I think I was 17 at the time, and I used to take up all these weird shifts because I didn't know how to say no, which made me a great employee. They loved me because, oh, this guy just eats it all up. He takes all the shifts. It's like we can just walk all over him. He's such a tool. He's such a great employee. That's really what it meant, right? There's nothing wrong with being a good employee, but being a good employee can be done by your skill, by being respectable, in other ways. Not you're good because we can do whatever we want with you. And I didn't know how to say no. So when my manager would call me and be like, hey, we need you to take this shift. Yeah, it's from 6 a.m. I'm like, I kind of have, I have school. Okay, well, if I have school, that was like the only time I could probably refuse easily. But if it was a weekend and I made plans, I'd just be like, oh, 6 a.m.? Yeah, we just need you to come in at 6 a.m. Okay, I'll be there. I'll cancel my plans. I'll cancel my evening night out. I'll whatever I was doing, I'll just immediately change my entire environment. I would accommodate to make sure I can come in at 6 a.m. and open the store. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I would often think, why did I accept this? When your alarm clock rings at 5 a.m. in the morning as a teenager on the weekend, and you're just like, why did I ever say yes? Why couldn't I just say no this time? And this was an ongoing thing. Any uncomfortable shift, anything that was, I had plans, it didn't matter. I would say yes. And I know this happens to so many of us, so many people, including some people I talk to, some people that are in my circle. And I know that even for them, it's hard to refuse because this is not something everybody learns. And this is kind of where you have to accept being the asshole sometimes. Like, no, I am not that tool. I'm still a great guy. I'm still a great worker. I'll do my job, but I'm not available at your convenience. I'm not your slave. I'm not your jester. You can't just call me the night before and ask me to come in at 6 a.m. if that's not something I want to do. Enter that frame of mind. Like, actually enter it and hold that. Do not feel bad for it. And at first, you will feel bad for it. You will feel bad every time you say no. You say no because now you're thinking, well, they're probably thinking I'm not a good person. They're probably mad at me, whatever, right? I know that's what we play through our mind, and then we're thinking, maybe I should have said yes. Come on, it's not such a big deal. I could have shifted my plans around. You start accommodating once again. But this accommodation, it doesn't get you anything good because you start to realize that you're not living your own life. You're living as a tool for other people to use, whether it's your boss, whether it's your girlfriend. It could be anybody. If you're bad at saying no to your boss, you're probably bad at saying no to your parents, to your friends, to anybody. You're probably going to be bad at those things all across. So your entire life gets consumed by getting into situations you don't really want to be in. And by the way, guys, I'm literally building a school community right now where I teach this exact stuff step by step. If you feel like you're getting value from my content, imagine what you would get on the premium side of things. And I'm going to keep it a relatively low price for now until I build it up more. There's going to be far more content in the school community that's going to give you step by step advice on literally building your skill tree for your extroverted side. The whole point of this is to take your social autistic ass or your introverted self and make you into an extrovert. And you'll have two sides then. I switch between these sides all the time. Right now on camera, I'm my extroverted side. As soon as this camera goes off, I'm an introvert. I'm not talking to anybody. I don't want to have any part of it. I will go back to watching my anime. Like, I don't care. But you need to have these two sides just to get around life without being a tool. And so anyway, I'm going to give you guys more examples. So one thing is, and I'm pretty good at this now, but I used to be really bad. It's with how I spend my time in relation to girlfriends. So even to this day, I'll be honest, I'm known as that person or as that guy, the boyfriend that doesn't spend that much time with his girlfriend. And it's subjective. How much is a lot of time, right? But to be honest, I understand. Yeah, I mostly do my own thing for most of the week. I only see my girlfriend once or twice. And that may sound extreme, but it's just my choice. It's my choice because I'm choosing to build my life. But that's not really the point here. That's just my choice. If you choose to see your girl 3 times a week, all to you. You know, flag in your hands, go run with it. And so, being able to say no to your girl, probably the hardest thing ever because you love her. How do you tell her no? Right? And she's so cute, especially when she's asking you for something. She's like, please, can I see you today? Hey, let's hang out. Or when it's time for her to go home, no, let's just stay 1 more hour. And you're like, okay, I guess we can stay another hour. Even though it's cutting into my sleep and I have to wake up early tomorrow for work and she doesn't. Or maybe she does too, but she just doesn't care. And you're like, fine, okay. Not only does that make you look like a complete pushover and a pussy in her own eyes, even though she's asking you of this, but this isn't a story about male and female dynamic. This is a whole separate topic. Instead, I'm going to just tell you how to say no. How do you say no? And oftentimes, it just comes down to saying no. Yeah, it's funny. It just comes down to saying no. But I'll have to just give you, I'm just trying to think of a very specific scenario. So let's say, your girlfriend thinks you're going to see her this Saturday. But this Saturday, you want to hang out with the boys. The boys are making plans. You don't want to be that one guy that is like, no, guys, sorry, my girlfriend. Every friend group has that guy that's like, no, my girlfriend. As soon as he gets a girlfriend, he's gone. Like, oh shit, we lost him. You know what I mean? You don't want to be that guy. You want to be the guy who has the girlfriend and still hangs out with his friends as much as he wants to. And the only difference between that is you saying no. You're not going to lose her. You will not lose her by saying no. And if anything, you'll gain more respect and value to your time. But once again, that's besides the point. So that specific scenario, she wants you to spend the time with her, but your boys made some plans. Communicate. Don't wait for Saturday to come to then just break her heart and say, actually, my friends are kind of going out, so I was kind of hoping to, if you don't mind, to hang out with them. That's what you don't do. Don't do that. You think that's better than just being like, okay, I'll skip out on my friends and I'll just hang out with you, even though I kind of wanted to. No, it's the same gay shit. Like, you don't want to do that. Whenever you're saying no, you have to be firm. And when I say firm, it doesn't mean hard ass or rude. It means firm as in you will not be moved because you've already made your decision. You want to hang out with your boys that day. The decision is final. 99.999% chance there's nothing else she can say to change your mind because there's nothing else important enough in that moment. Like, there's nothing that's going to change the outcome. So you have to be certain. And you should tell her as soon as you find out. Maybe it's on Tuesday. Why do we procrastinate? We don't know how to tell her no, so we end up either saying yes on the day of or saying no on the day of, and that just creates more chaos. It's kind of your fault then for being that guy for last moment stuff. Tell her as soon as you find out. On Tuesday night, your friends and you made plans on Saturday to go out. Okay. As soon as you speak to her next, hey, by the way, my friends and I made some plans for the Saturday, just giving you a heads up. I'm going to be hanging out with my friends. No explanation. In fact, you're already being generous by telling her. I wouldn't say it's a full explanation, but you're giving her a reason in a way. Because maybe she expected or she thought you'll hang out on Saturday. So you have to kind of, I guess, how would I put this? It's nice of you to let her know beforehand and also tell her that you're going to hang out with your boys. You're telling her no by saying yes to your friends. This isn't some trick. This isn't some manipulation. She's going to get it. She's going to get that, oh, we're not hanging out on Saturday. She might feel upset a bit. She's like, oh, well, I thought we will go here and there. Hey, no problem. We can do all that. It's just that this Saturday, this is important. Whatever. I'm going to hang out with my friends. You can say it in a soft voice. You don't have to be strict. You don't have to be rude. None of that. But you have to be certain. There's no negotiation. If she's used to you negotiating, if she's used to convincing you, if this is a pattern that you've done over and over, well, she's like, wow, so you don't love me? So you like your friends more than me? You know the classic, right? Don't fall for it, bro. You can't fall for it. I'm telling you this because I fell for it so many times. I will shamefully admit to you that I had this girlfriend once, and this was back in high school. I was very serious, just like I am now still, going to the gym every single day. I would go to the gym 5 days a week minimum. And at some point, my girlfriend was kind of getting annoyed because that was always getting in the way. Because I used to spend more time with her, but ever since I started taking gym seriously, some evenings were just for the gym and my bro, that we would go to the gym. And she would start the guilt tripping. Oh, you never spend time with me. Wow, you're going to the gym again. I can't believe it. And one of those times, I broke. It was like a weekend, and she said we could do this. You know, all the other couples, they're going to the park, they're spending time together. These guys went to the mall, whatever you do as a teenager. And you're just gonna use this beautiful day to go to the gym with your friend? Seriously? Instead of spending time with your girlfriend? I know. Like, imagine a 17-year-old chick having such a level of language that she can manipulate a guy into it. Anyway, but good on her. She did her job. She did her thing. But I was like, oh, that kind of sounds bad. I was like, okay, you know what? Just to make you happy, I'll miss the gym today. I'll hang out with you. And of course, she was like, yay, you know. It wasn't to win. It was a lose-lose situation because you just lost respect that you traded spending some fun time for building yourself as a man, which you would respect more. You just traded that, and you lost your gains, you didn't hang out with your friend, and you lost respect from her. It's a lose-lose situation. But that's what happened, and I was like, I felt so bad after. I thought, oh my god, did I really just say no to go to the gym and say yes to hanging out, and all we're doing is just watching some shows? The whole time sitting there watching a show, I was like, this cannot be it. This is such a waste of my time. Because it wasn't allocated. She was not supposed to have my time today. Right? You need to understand it to that level. So of course there's a lot more in terms of your frame and mindset that goes on when you're telling people no. But even without understanding that, just the fact that you can tell her, hey, this Saturday I'm going to hang out with the boys. I get it that we wanted to hang out, but it's not going to happen this time. Like, not this time. Next time. Maybe next time. No promises. Right? She can guilt trip you. She can do the thing. Don't get mad. Do not get triggered. She's trying to trick. Do not get triggered. This is no different than you saying no to your boss and your boss going, oh wow, what an uncommitted employee. Do we really want you around here? You're not really committed to your job, or your HR telling you that. It's all the same thing. It's all guilt tripping, or your parents saying, wow, what an ungrateful child. All the same. Do not falter. Do not move. You've made up your mind. No matter what they say, you don't have to shoot back with emotion, with arrogance. Just repeat it. Hey, I get it. You're frustrated. Always acknowledge and empathize. Whenever you're saying no and you don't want it to just punch someone, you don't want to be that asshole. It's not a person that you hate. It's your girlfriend. You love her. You don't want to be mean to her by saying no like an asshole. You can soften the blow, but it's going to still be a blow to an extent. It's still going to make them have that response where they're thinking, wow, I can't believe my boyfriend doesn't want to spend. But it doesn't matter. Okay. Hey, I get that you're upset and you can be upset with me, but this is something that is important to me and I chose to do it. You don't need to over-explain yourself. You don't even need to say that part unless she's really digging and wants to know and you're generous enough to tell her, okay, yeah, this is important for us. We'll plan something with you another time. It's fine. I get it. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here. That's okay. There will be another Saturday, another Sunday. Don't feel like you have to, that you owe somebody to accept their bullshit, or not bullshit, but their request. You don't have to accept. This is the hardest thing that was for me to do as an introvert. I just sucked at it. It was the hardest thing ever. And today, honestly, I don't even think twice. And I'm gonna tell you now that I'm not trying to stroke my own horn. I'm literally gonna tell you now, the level of respect you will get from telling people no is through the roof. These days, you call it aura. Your aura is gonna be maxed out when you tell people no. Do you know why? Here's why. Let's say you're telling no to your boss at work in front of other employees. Those employees are now gonna respect you. Why? Because most people know how difficult it is to say no. Even as an extroverted person, someone who's an extrovert, even for them, it's still hard to say no. It's just a hard thing for humans to do because we're sympathetic creatures. We're empathetic, right? So it's hard for us to say no. It's in general a hard thing to do. That's why whenever somebody sees you demonstrate it, somebody else saw you say no. Even your own boss, even if it's one-on-one, sees you say no. They just gained, I said it backwards. You just gained their respect. Think about it. You just did something that's hard to do. That boss is sitting there like, no way I'm able to get most employees to agree. And this motherfucker right here is so ballsy, he said no to my face. Politely, however kindly, but he still refused my request. He did not easily solve my problem. I'm going to have to ask somebody else who is more susceptible to accepting. In your relationship, in your friend groups, anywhere, if you're known as the person, not even known, it doesn't have to be like oh, this guy says no, he's an asshole. It's more like this guy can stand his ground. He knows what he wants, he knows what he accepts, and he knows what he doesn't accept, and he does not let other people cross his line. If he is uncomfortable with something, or with doing something and he does not want to, he will not do it. He will not be talked into it. In fact, funny thing is about getting talked into it, I had this, one of my coworkers once said to me, they asked me for a favor and I agreed. I was like, sure, no problem. And I actually had no problem. I was like, sure, I'll help you out. And they said, hey, by the way, I don't want you to feel like I'm making you do something. Like, you don't have to, but I really appreciate it. And what's funny is I was like, oh, don't worry. Trust me. There's no way in hell you'll ever make me do something. If I'm doing something for you, it's 100% because I decided myself that I want to help you or I want to do it. So you don't have to feel bad for asking me. And you never have to feel bad that you're making me do something. So not only did... in this case, you're telling them, you can't make me. No amount of coercion can make me. And two, don't feel bad. I'm accepting this request from you. It's okay. I got you. That is such a big aura. That is such an aura farm. Whatever you guys call it. I don't know these terms. But that is, you just gain respect through the roof. Other people see that from you. Other people acknowledge you. You're that guy. You literally have respect from people by saying no. How cool is that? It's like a bonus. Not only you said no, so now you don't have to do the bullshit, but everybody around, or even the person who you said no to, is like, oh shit, when did this guy grow some balls? I can't just step on him and walk all over him anymore? Damn. Alright. Stoic individual, or whatever you want to call you. Like, okay, this guy's gonna stand on his own ground. No problem. Alright, so once again, guys, I teach all this stuff step by step in my school community. Check it out if you want. Thanks for watching.